Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to HitBullsEye. In this video, we are going to discuss the current affairs for 23rd December 2021, which is today. So I welcome you all. In case you are attending our class for the first time, this is an initiative of HitBullsEye in which we discuss the 5 most important news from that day that you cannot afford to miss from exam point of view. So this is the purpose is so that you can utilize these 10 to 15 minutes of your day very productively. So even if you haven't done anything the entire day, you couldn't do anything in the entire day for GK, if you watch this video for 10 to 15 minutes every day regularly, then you can be assured that you have not missed the most important news of that day. So you can check out our other videos as well. So let us see what all important has happened today that you shouldn't have missed. First is exercise Prasthan. We will see what is this exercise Prasthan. So many exercises take place in government agencies and in armed forces. We'll see what this exercise is in detail. Secondly, a species is in news, that is albino Indian flapship turtle. We'll see where this exclusive and unique species has been found and what is so important about this. Then we'll see the Vernacular Innovation Program, what this program is, why the government has launched it, and under which scheme does this program lie. Then a new missile has been test fired in India, that is the Praly missile. We'll see some important specifications of this missile. And finally, the winter session of Indian Parliament has come to an end. It was concluded yesterday. So we'll see the productivity of this session. A lot of hullabaloo, a lot of controversies, as it is usual, happened in this session. So we'll see what all bills were introduced and what all bills could be passed. Let us see these news one by one. So the first news is exercise Prasthan. So exercise Prasthan is was conducted yesterday, 21st to 22nd December for 2 days, and its result was out today. So for the security of offshore development area in Krishna Godavari basin. So Krishna Godavari are 2 rivers in southern India. So in that offshore development area, basically for the exploration of minerals and crude oil, there is offshore development. And for the security of that area, the East Coast security was scrutinized under the exercise Prasthan, because there are so many threats. There can be piracy, there can be terrorism, there can be any type of illegal activity. So a wholesome idea of the security of the eastern coast was taken during this exercise Prasthan, and it's a biannual exercise. It takes place twice every year, and it was coordinated and controlled by the Joint Operations Center of Vizag, which is under the Indian Navy. So the Indian Navy took out the security exercise in the eastern coast. And the objective was so that overall security architecture, for example, the Navy is deployed there, the Coastal Guard is deployed there, and the state police is also somehow responsible. So the overall security architecture was supposed to be assessed, and the standard operating procedures were laid out so that in case of any untoward incident, for example, any terrorist attack or any pirate attack, so how to deal with those contingencies. Indian naval ship Kamorta, INS Kamorta, and INS Thermogli, which are 2 Indian naval ships, they were deployed along with many other ships like ISV, T-36, T-38, T-39. All these ships were deployed, and along with that, INS Karna and naval helicopters from INS Dega were also deployed. So it includes a lot of apparatus, a lot of ships and helicopters, and oil operators, namely ONGC, which is the Oil and Natural Gas Corporation. Then there are certain private players also that are extracting oil from there, including the Reliance Limited and Vedanta Limited. Then there was Coastal Police, as I already told you. Then the Department of Port and Department of Fisheries. So all the stakeholders, basically, whether they were public stakeholders or private stakeholders, they took part in this exercise. So a unique exercise from the point of view of coastal security of India, you can say. Next, this species of turtle has been found in India, in the state of Telangana, And it's very unique because it has been seen in India only twice till date. This is the third instance of this turtle, as you can see in the picture. It's a albino Indian flapshell turtle, and it was seen in the forest of Telangana's Nizamabad district. And it's a rare species as classified by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. Its scientific name, which is not very important, basically. So the freshwater species of turtle it is, and it is found mostly in South Asia. The name flap-shelled, it stems from femoral flaps located on the plastron. So as you can see in the image, it is because it looks like a shell that it is called a flap shell turtle, and its status under the IUCN is vulnerable. Its status is vulnerable. That means if it is not protected, then it may become endangered. So vulnerable is the first standard of classification under the IUCN red list that classifies all the animals in different categories like vulnerable, endangered, critically endangered, and extinct. So this is the first category, but at this stage itself, the animal needs to be protected so that it does not become endangered. And these freshwater turtles are spread across South Asia. For example, other than India, it is found in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. And as I told you, there were only 2 instances earlier when this animal has been recorded in India, once in Odisha and then again in West Bengal. And for the 3rd time now, it has been seen in Telangana. Next, the Vernacular Innovation Program, which is under the Atal Innovation Mission that was launched by the Niti Aayog. So it has come up, the Atal Innovation Mission has come up with a first of its kind program called Vernacular Innovation Program. So as the name suggests, now vernacular means the regional languages. For example, Punjabi is a vernacular language. Say Tamil is a vernacular language. So Vernacular Innovation Program means that in vernacular languages, now we are trying to generate content of technical nature, because generally there's dearth of content in vernacular languages. It is generally available in English language. So under this program, the Atal Innovation Mission will be identifying a vernacular task force in all the 22 scheduled languages of India. Now, for those of you who do not know, under the Constitution of India, in the 8th schedule, there are 22 languages that have been listed as recognized languages of India. For example, Punjabi, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, then Kashmiri, Dogri, Bodo. So there are 22 languages that have the status of scheduled languages under the Indian Constitution. And in all those languages, now vernacular task force will be constituted. Then each task force will have that particular language teachers, subject experts, technical writers, etc. For example, if we take Marathi as an example, so for Marathi, a vernacular task force will be formed that will have some members, and they will include Marathi teachers, Marathi subject experts, technical writers. For example, if you have to teach engineering course in Marathi language, that is not possible right now because it's mostly available in English. So the technical vocabulary will be developed so that vernacular languages can also become the sources of empowerment. And all this will be done in Atal incubation centers. So it is also in sync with the new education policy, in which the government is thinking of teaching all these technical subjects in vernacular languages. And for this purpose, a train the trainer program will also be launched so that those who are going to train others will also be trained. Now, why are we trying to give so much importance to the vernacular languages? Why? For that, we need to ask the reverse question, that why are we paying so much attention to English language? Whereas as per 2011 census, only 10.4% of Indians speak English properly as their second, third, or fourth language. For example, right now I am speaking English and you are understanding it. So in 99% of the cases, it is not your first language, it is not my first language, because only 0.02% of Indians have English as their first language. We have some other language as a first language. It can be Hindi, it can be any other languages out of those 22 scheduled languages. So that is the purpose why vernacular language is being developed for technical subjects as well. So to create equal opportunity for the other 90% population, because 90% of Indians do not speak, read, or write English. So for that population, vernacular language is their medium of communication. So for them, this program is being developed. Then this missile has been launched called Praly. It has been launched by the Defense Research and Development Organization, that is DRDO. So its maiden flight test has been conducted. It's a surface-to-surface missile, and it was launched from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Island, which is in Odisha. So this is a Praly missile. Praly literally means destruction. So the missile is powered with solid propellant rocket motor, and its range is 150 to 500 kilometers. That means it's a short range missile, and it can be launched from a mobile launcher, which is a significant capability for resourceful deployment. And okay, someone is asking me the meaning of deployed. Now, deploy means to install something, to make something into action. So when you deploy something, a missile or a force, that means you're putting that thing into action. That is the meaning of deployment. So this missile can be deployed at a very short notice, and it includes state-of-the-art navigation system. So Praly is a new entrant in India's missile basket. And finally, a very important political news: the winter session of Indian Parliament has come to an end. And apparently it was not a very productive session, because the opposition members continued to protest over various issues, including the Pegasus or the farmers issue, or demanding action against a union minister for hit and run case. But despite that, so many bills were passed during the session. For example, Farm Laws Repeal Bill was passed as promised by the Prime Minister. Dam Safety Bill was passed. Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill was passed. Surrogacy Bill, NIPER Amendment Bill. So all these bills were passed, but the most important of these bills was, number one, Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Amendment. That is the NDPS Act. So the act has been amended by this bill. And there was another very significant bill that was for raising the age of marriage for women in India. Right now, the legal age of marriage for women in India is 18, and for men, it is 21. So to remove this deformity, the government introduced the Prohibition of Child Marriage Amendment Bill that sought to increase the marriageable age of women from 18 to 21 years. However, the many opposition members protested against it, and that's why that bill, along with 5 others, were referred to parliamentary committees. Now, in parliamentary committees, there are members for both the houses of Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, and they can scrutinize the bills in detail so that a report can be formed, and then that bill, along with that report, is submitted to the House for their deliberation. The purpose is that every party should be able to put forth their viewpoint in that parliamentary committee meeting, and thereafter, only the contentious points can be discussed in the House. Other than that, during the session, a total of 13 bills were passed. 13 bills were introduced and 11 bills were passed by both the houses. The productivity of Lok Sabha, which is the lower house, was around 82%, and that of Rajya Sabha, which is the upper house, was just 48%. So less than half of the bills that were supposed to be transacted in the House could not be transacted. And in Lok Sabha, the productivity was somewhere average around 82%. And at the end of the session, Rajya Sabha chairperson, Mr. M. Venkaiah Naidu, who is also the Vice President of India, he lamented that the productivity of the houses is going down, and that is a cause of concern. So these are the 5 news that you're expected to know in today. So if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions, please post your comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Right? If you like the content, you can check the link in the description below, or you can go to the gk.hitbullseye website, where you can find a lot of content that is relevant from exams point of view. And there is also a lot of free content that you can avail on that website. So you can go to gk.hitbullseye.com. That is it for today. My name is Manish Mittal, and thank you so much. Take care.